an area of rooms that I want to stay in. It'll probably be anywhere from down this first row right here.
Along the bottom floor.
The other reason is because you have all this road here, and you have very few people who travel from this building straight across the this cafe.
Sounds good.
And there's no parking right next to it.
So 20 there would be the one, I think, or is that the one?
Yeah, I'll find out. I'll find out. One of the two, there's one with double beds and this with a king bed. I'll find out which one's.
Well, this is good because it has a pull-out couch and then just have a room that's really nice.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, sure.
Lovely meeting you, mate.
Yeah, that was a pleasure.
Good
I
on
try
you.
to get to meet all the guests who staying for a little while.
Yeah, it's a good get around. It's a very special place here.
And the rest has been very good for me.
Very good.
Good.
We're
Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Take
folks.
care. Do you work
I
Monday
did,
to Friday?
Gary,
how do you work?
I just want to tell you one thing, is that when we came here, I had ordered, my doctors had me on a medical protocol, and so we had my medicine sent here.
Yes, shipped here. I've actually gone over, found out all about it.
And
went
it was,
over training, went over, this is what you do.
She wrote me a very insulting letter.
Have you seen
was that Kimberly?
It was Kimberly, yes.
I have not.
It's
I'd like
one
to show it
thing.
to you.
Oh,
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I just want to say it's one thing. If someone makes a mistake, I'm very easygoing. I've got 3 grown children, and and they're all boys. And I have about 6 godchildren, so that wouldn't have been a problem. But it was my medical protocol. Anthony was checking twice a day for it. It took 6 days to get here. And then they sent a 3rd package to some other place. And Anthony had to hunt it all down. And if I hadn't checked the tracking numbers on the computer,
the file that was here.
I would never, I should have checked sooner, but I've always had a good experience here, so it was very shocking. And then to receive such, she called me abusive.
Well, let me assure you that when I came back from my travels, that they're like, oh, by the way, we had some packages that were misplaced, this happened, and then my boss, because I'm not sure to call the corporate office, which I believe is probably the best thing to do, when things just escalate to a
Doug,
point.
but that was very unsatisfactory. I'm going to go up
So
to
Doug actually, got in touch with me the second I got back and said, I want to bring you up to speed on this. I need you to talk to Kim. I need you to go over what's your package policy. And I said, well, generally we receive our packages, we'll log them, we put the name.
These were 2 separate orders.
I talked to the girls up front, and they're like, we were looking for one and not another, and they
just
didn't put
want
1
you to
and
know
2 together.
something. Right from the day that I booked us in here, I spoke to Mary. I think Kimberly was present. I think Daisy was also present too. They all knew about Catherine's condition, why we were staying here from the day 1. So anything other than I wasn't aware of this doesn't fly.
By the way, Daisy's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoy her a great deal, but it was very
hard. She works very hard to accommodate folks and solve the problems.
The problem is that I have a very serious medical condition, and she damaged my health. That was not, and instead of receiving an apology, she accused me of being abusive.
And said, if you don't like it.
Oh, she also told me to find someplace else to go.
Then you can look for another hotel, and I'll help you find one.
And
this is because
and we
Catherine
were
said,
already paid all the way through.
My health has been damaged because my packages, which have been here, weren't delivered.
So I just want you to know about that, and I am going to go talk to corporate, but that I found that bizarre behavior personally. I mean, first of all, a normal human being would say, "Oh my God, how's your health?" That did not happen. And MS, my brother died of MS. He was a brilliant physicist. He died of MS, and it's a challenging illness. It's not contagious. Nobody has to worry about it. But
yeah, I know that. I worked in the medical field in laboratory sciences for 10 years.
What'd you do?
First, I went to school to become a medical laboratory technician, and went through the training there, and then worked in a hospital laboratory, microbiology, virology, hematology, all that, basically setting up testing, working with all the culture machines and everything else, and then resulting stuff. I did that for 8.5 years, and then went into hospitality, And then after 9/11, I left hospitality a little bit, and it was a very odd time. And really,
Prior
really
to
bad.
9/11 or just after?
Just after.
Yeah, I can imagine.
In fact, I moved to Sacramento in February that year, and then just basically walked away from it the next March of 2002 because it was high stress, so much travel. I've never traveled so much in my life. It was 4 and 5 days a week on the road, and so you come
I know
home.
what that's like.
Oh, you come home and you're like, hey, because I had an apartment, and I didn't know if I was in an apartment or a hotel room.
You know, it's really funny.
It was goofy.
We looked up Saint Raphael, the patron saint. What's he the patron saint of? He's the patron saint of travelers.
Really?
He's right next door to this Pacific
That's
Coast.
right.
So
Yeah,
you're saying, yeah, the Catholic
the
Church.
church.
So that's a good idea.
And
Yeah.
that's one thing the one thing I will share with you about the best thing about multiple sclerosis. People always see the downside, they don't see the upside.
Mm-hmm.
The upside is it's in terms of biochemistry. It set me on a path 20 years ago to study why do we go into spontaneous remission. Like if I rest enough,
Mhm.
and I take it's mostly a nutritional protocol.
Mhm.
Got a few prescriptions, but mostly nutrition. Why is this a disease that can go into spontaneous remission? And to me, spontaneous remission is like a miracle.
Oh, absolutely.
So in terms of studying and research and what you've studied in the past, that's what created Holographic Ecology
Mm.
Foundation, which we have,
Mhm.
which is the study of spontaneous remission.
But you find those websites really eloquently
Yeah.
explained.
It's they're more poetic. I'm
Which
working
is
to,
good because
to reach his
my-
Poetic is
generation.
good.
My wife's mother, my mother-in-law, she actually has a degenerative brain disease that they can't quite. I don't know if it's a allergic type of like a gluten allergy type of thing, or I have no idea. She's this one odd person that doesn't happen very often, and so it's really broken down her abilities to walk, speak, and all that. So remission would be nice. It's come to a point where it's not deteriorating anymore, as
Good.
far as we can tell. But it's kind of like the damage is done.
That's one thing that Douglas said to me on the phone. He was kind of
Doug Flum. Is it
Yeah.
Flum or
Flummer.
Flum?
Yeah, he was basically interrogating me. From whatever Beverly had said, I just want you to know, they sent over, and I don't know if it was the middle of the night or something, we demand an instant inspection of this place. Like, I don't know what got said, but I just want you to know the reason why we only ask for the sheets to be changed like once a week and to clean
Every
is
3 days, 4
because
days.
we use hypoallergenic, non-toxic things because of my health. And so
Absolutely.
they get stuck with it.
Yeah. Plus it kind of works in well with the
That's-
change of
But I-
towels, which is
it's
great.
Quite all right.
But I just want you to know that it's not as
You know,
if...
talking about on lines, I don't mind at all. If every guest stayed a long period of time and got service once a week, it would cut down my
But I
my
really
expenses.
have to be, I was thinking of the brain deterioration. And one thing I found with MS is when we moved to Florida, it was great, but then they sprayed malathion
Mhm.
in fog sprayers.
Oh yeah.
And my brother and I both came down with MS.
It's strange because I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
and rocks grow green there. It's very lush and humid, and it's very nice. I really like it. My wife thinks a great deal of it too. But when we were there, and we have a lot of squirrels and possums and raccoons and everything else. Well, when the dogs would get fleas, you'd go out and put malathion on the yard, or diazinon, Dursban. And so when I first got here to Sacramento